right, welcome to Sport on Enterprise TV, where sport news from the four corners of the world are delivered at its best. If you are joining us for the first time, please do well to follow us across all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. My name is John Olashikomi. Join me and let's ride together. Joining me virtually this afternoon in person of Jerry Peloa is smiling, excited, and of course, it is no longer a news that Liverpool are the champions of England, and of course, unarguably, for me, I believe Liverpool are now the most successful team in England. Good afternoon to you, Jerry Peloa.
It's undisputed. The titles are there. Everything is there. Records are there. It's there. Liverpool are the most successful in England. And when it comes to league titles, we can stay with Manchester United. But if you look at the two clubs at the moment, who would you want to pitch your tent with? Definitely, Liverpool stands tall above every other club in England.
All right, but before we go into Liverpool's matter, of course, we have to start with the local football. Nigeria's Flying Eagles in the hard-fought 1-0 victory over Tunisia's Carthage Eagles on Thursday to open their Under-20 African Cup of Nations campaign at the June 30 Stadium in Cairo. The match was decided by a composed first-half finish from Ibrahim, who latched onto a precise through ball from Odinaka Okoro to calmly slot home past the Tunisian goalkeeper. All right, Jeda Peloa, you saw the match yesterday, and of course, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria defeated the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia 1-0 and of course, that is their ticket to the World Cup in Chile later this year. That is if they get to the semi-final. Of course, do you think they have what it takes to reach the semi-final with what you saw yesterday? In the other game, Morocco also defeated Kenya 3-2. So Nigeria are second on the log table. Do you have what it takes to go to the semi-final?
Yeah, for a good team perform at competitions like this, you have to look at the preparation. And I must say that I'm impressed with Zubairu's boys due to the fact that the friendlies they played, they landed in Morocco, they played the Moroccans over 2 games, and they defeated that. That shows that they have what it takes. And if you are to compete at this level, you should be able to beat the North Africans. And that's already done.
Despite the fact that it was a narrow win, so I expect them to score goals, more goals, if you are playing a team like Tunisia.
Let's not put pressure on the team based on the fact that they are an age-rated team. You're under 20 for crying out loud. And the Tunisians are not pushed over as well. They're also qualities that cannot get away from them. And the most important thing for me is getting the victory and the semi-final, guarantee them the sport to win the World Cup. Then they can now look at if they can conquer Africa and win it. We've done it before, and let's not forget that age-rated teams have not been doing well. And I want to see an age-grade team once again being qualified for the World Cup. Take one game at a time. And if they build up the success of yesterday's game, then we can say, okay, maybe they'll score more goals in the next match. And on to the next match, they get to the final and eventually have a chance of winning it. So it's baby steps. And so they don't know the right things. And of course, they are on the right direction.
And of course, this is the convention that we've won seven times, and yesterday we even discussed about the best team, the best under-20 team that I have seen so far. I said it was during Samson Celsia era, during the Mikel Obita era. I don't know if you have any contrary opinion to that one.
I think I wonder because they are the only team that went as far as the final of the World Cup eventually. So take a look at their performance and what they were able to achieve. I wonder if that's undeniably or the best on the team. So it's a mark for that team, and of course it becomes a benchmark for all the 20 sides we need. So definitely a fantastic side, and I hope this team will be able to surpass them, even onto the World Cup and eventually win it.
All right, let's see how it goes. And of course, we also discussed about integrating these young players into the senior national team. I just said something about the Mikel Obi set, where we saw Mikel Obi, Taiwo, Obasi, Okonkwo, mentioned them. A lot of players were promoted to the national team. Do you see some of these players also being called up to the national team? At least maybe 2 or 3 should be given a chance in the national team after this competition.
Yeah, it's baby steps because the hope of every under 20 side when they go to represent Nigeria, they eventually do well. Talking about winning the continent of Africa at the under 20 level, and also going to the world stage and going as far as maybe the final winning it. Because now there's a benchmark. And for them, the 20 is quite more competitive like back in the days because we have a lot of young players abroad who want to also play for the national team. Unfortunately, during the time of Man Utd, the age grade team suffered
a lot.
They relied solely on players who were already doing well abroad at that age and then killing the age grade teams. I think I stumbled upon an interview. Was it one of the coaches talking about this? Man Utd killed the age grade team. They stopped paying them allowances. They stopped paying their coaches. It was based on what when they come to camp, appearance fees, that's what they were getting. And this teams a lot during Man Utd's time. I hope that with Ribeiro, who is also the brother of talking about the current NFF president, we're able to show him the necessary support and make sure that he succeeds. We all know the bias being the fact that they are both from the same region. But that being said, I hope they will have all the wherewithal in terms of support. If the team gets support financially, in terms of friendlies and so on and so forth, we have a lot of talent. They will do well. And if they do well, it's not left for them to be able to at least dream and make sure they achieve their target and aim. If they do that, nobody will need a national team coach to bring them into the Super Eagles. Their performance will speak for them, and they will have no choice than to bring them to the national team.
All right. Thank you for your contribution, Jerry Apeloi. And of course, moving away from the under 20, let's move straight to the MPFL, champions of the 2024-2025 Nigeria Premier Football League season. Remo Stars will be presented will be presented the league title on Sunday, May 11th, after their last home game of the season against Southwest rivals Ikorodu City. The league board has confirmed Remo Stars won their first ever MPFL title with 3 games to spare on Sunday, clinching the title in front of their fans in the Kenya with a 1-0 win over Niger Tornadoes in a match day 35 game. Jerry Apeloi talking about, once again, congratulations to Remo Stars, and of course they will definitely be given 200 million naira for winning the MPFL. That is where I'm going. You know, Elegbele said something about MPFL. He said in the nearest future that MPFL will be the best league in Africa. And of course, let's start from the 200 million. You cannot have a team up to 30 players. They have to travel from one city to the other city. They have to move from the east to the west to the north, every part of Nigeria. And of course, at the end of the day, they'll be giving 200 million naira. Let's talk about players. They still have, they have their medical staffs. They have a lot of people working for them. And of course, not talking about the technical crew. How long will 200 million naira go for a champion of the MPFL? I know there has been an improvement in the past years. Before it was 100 million naira, before they increased to 150 million, and now this is 200 million naira. In my own opinion, I still feel that money is too small. For a team that just won the MPFL.
Yeah, the MPFL is more like people are playing for passion and sacrifice. It's not that people are playing to get any out of it. And the owner of Remo Stars is a billionaire. when to financially. And he set up this club 4 years ago and said he started to win the league. He came close once, and this time around, he's be able to achieve his dream. And Corremo started, not worry. But if the owner is not a billionaire, what will be their pace? If they are going to be playing on the continent, 200 million will not go anywhere contesting the CAF Champions League. Because you have to take flights to play your opponents away, and you have to take care of your team. So take a look at flight expenses right now. For team 3, just one item to Tunisia and back. I bet you that 200 million would look like 200,000.
Yes, of course.
And it's pretty sad and a difficult situation. The minimum a club side, because of the value of our money right now, should be getting is about $1 billion. Yes, there's the club in league getting $1 billion. What about the second? What does it get? At least to get $5 million because they go on the continent. Everything.
But Jerry Apello, you have to also look at it from this angle. In a league where there is no sponsor, maybe that is the main reason why the money is just like that.
The sponsor that is giving the 200 million, if there's no sponsor, they will just give them a handshake and tell them back. Thanks for coming. Yes, that's that bad. And the fact that I even spoke to Ikorodu City and that they say the clubs are that if they make it to the continent, how are they going to survive? What to use if I want to be said they will have to do Babiala to go and beg the governor and other people to sponsor them. It's a privately owned club side. So for privately owned club side, I think it's more like sacrifice, spending money and just for the love and the passion. But that should not be the case. Football should be invested in. The government should invest in sport. Anywhere in the world, the government assists platforms like league football. Because from the league football, imagine those bandits who are chasing people and kidnapping a lot of people. And you invest in the North, for instance, all the North football club side. They have academies. They have a lot of platform where these bandits, instead of going into banditry, they can go into sport, go into football. That means if you eliminate the potential of insecurity in a region, governments are not thinking, they are not opening their heads to think outside the box. It's not about building roads. Now you're building roads, people cannot travel on the roads.
Yes, of course.
Because a lot of bandits are out there looking to kidnap. If the league winner is getting as much as 3 billion at the end of the season, a lot of people will go into football. A lot of people will invest in the football league and want to be a part of it. And it's been shown, it's getting much attention. Because football alone is not about the footballers. The kids, people take care of the pitch, the bus drivers, the coach drivers from to and fro, the filling station is getting for them, those who are maintaining the stadiums, and so on. You are employed a club that can employ as much as 2,000 people.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, take a look at United. Yes, you employ a lot as much as 2,000 people, and you are also indirectly also employing maybe close to 1,000 people, because people who sell the match tickets, people who in England. That's a lot of jobs, a lot of money going around, and you just taking people off the street, taking people off the bushes, taking people from chasing going to kidnapping and so on. It's a big opportunity for the youth.
All right. Okay, Jerry Apello, I thank you for that one. Elegbele has said that in the nearest future, I mean, MPFL will definitely be the best league in Africa. Let's wait and see. All right, away from MPFL, let's move straight to Italy, where Napoli president, they call him ADL Aurelien De Laurentiis, is said to be willing to lower Victor Osimhen's 75 million euros release clause for Saudi suitors Al Hilal, provided the deal happens by June. Currently on hold at Galatasaray, Osimhen is expected to part ways with Napoli at the end of the current season with interest from the EPL, Syria, and the Middle is. Jerry Apella talking about Victor James Osimhen. At this age, I don't know what he's going to Saudi Arabia for, but for me, I still feel he can still play. He can still play in England. I mean, Italy, Spain, or Germany. But how many clubs in Europe now can afford Victor James Osimhen wages, most especially in England? So, what are your thoughts on Victor James Osimhen being linked with a club side in the Middle East?
I think it's Victor Osimhen at £70 million. Club side can afford it. Because if you were to be annual be too deep outside to pay for club sides like Arsenal, Manchester United, even Liverpool, if you can spend as much as close to €1 million to get talking about how we know next. Not as contributing to people.
Okay, Jerry Apella, I can barely hear you. You are saying something about Osimhen being linked to Manchester United, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Tottenham.
Yeah, I'm saying that if Liverpool can spend up to €74 million to get Victor Osimhen, what's stopping from spending that on Victor Osimhen? I think for Laurentis, he needs to come to reality and let this man go for £50 million.
Okay.
And let club sides in England and play in the Champions League because this is good very much. Those are about over £250,000 a week. So I don't think club have that kind of concern. Laurentis actually want this man to go. And he should let him go more, let him less more. And outside, there's no reason why he should not spend.
Even if they allow him to go for €50 million, as you said, how about his wages? Is Osimhen willing to collect pay cut in England?
He shouldn't take pay cuts. Of course, he deserves to pay that as much as £250,000. Okay. How many players better than Victor Osimhen in the Premier League as far as the striking position is concerned? The only player that's equal to him is Erling Haaland. So I don't think he should go for less. Earning £500,000 in Manchester City. So any club that wants to get those £300,000
they should be ready to pay more for Victor James Osimhen. That is, any club that wants him. Am I correct?
So if we can do that, shouldn't be that much. So there's no big deal there. I work for England process with him. I believe they already have plans to get Osimhen. So we should wait for the transfer window to open. And I think Saudi Arabia is out of it as far as Victor Osimhen next move.
All right, Saudi Arabia is out of it. Osimhen still want to win UEFA Champions League. And for me, arguably, one of the best striker in the world right now. Maybe after Erling Haaland. But for me, I'll still pick Osimhen ahead of Erling Haaland any day, anytime. And of course, Alexander Isak ahead of Osimhen. Osimhen all the way. All right, away from local football, let's move straight to foreign football. We'll be starting with the UEFA Europa League and, of course, Conference League. In the Europa League, Bruno Fernandes struck twice as Manchester United put one foot in the Europa League final with a clinical away performance to beat 10-man Athletic Bilbao 3-0 on Thursday. For me, it was a good result for Manchester United, but not a good performance from Ruben Amorim's side. Do you agree with me, Jerry Apella? Good result, but not good performance from the players.
Yeah, good results. Yeah, the thing is that sometimes in football, results is just the beginning of team goes. But sometimes you want the man to replicate the results. It should not be about the result alone. And some will say negative. The result eventually will tell for you in terms of how you advance and how you are viewed at the end of it all. So, for me, I think we keep your fingers crossed. and was it easy to get the result.
All right. All right, a good one for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes was on the score sheet. He scored the brace, and of course, Casemiro. That at some point, I thought it is all over for Casemiro. But what the big man himself is showing presently is just like Casemiro of 5, 6, 7 years ago. And of course, United are 1 foot in the final already. They defeated Bilbao at home at San Mamés. And of course, the final will also be played at Bilbao's ground. So if Manchester United get to the final, of course, they are familiar with that ground already. In the other game, we saw Tottenham also defeated Bodo Glimt 3-1. So we're seeing United and Tottenham in the final of the Europa this season, Jerry Perroy. All right, it's like his network is not cooperating. Let's move straight to the Conference League. In the Conference League, Betis defeated Fiorentina 2-1. And of course, Chelsea battered Jorge 1-4. Chelsea are also 1 foot in the final. Maybe we'll be seeing all England's team in the final. Arsenal can still make it to the final of the Champions League. Manchester United or Tottenham will also make it to the final of the Europa League. And of course, what do you expect from Chelsea Football Club? They can also make it to the final of the Conference League. We'll be seeing maybe Real Betis and Tony against Chelsea football team in the Conference League. All right, away from UEFA, let's move straight to England. Premier League champions Liverpool are in line to receive a guard of honor at Stamford Bridge on Sunday, but any pre-match pleasantries will quickly be put to one side, with host Chelsea desperate to boost their top 5 hopes. It is no longer a news that Liverpool are the champions of the Premier League 2024-2025 season, and this weekend they will be playing against Chelsea Football Club. And you all know Chelsea, they are still in the Conference League, and now they are also fighting for the top 5 so that they can play in the Champions League next season. And I don't know whether our viewers or out there have any contrary opinion to what I'm about to say. Even the man called Gary Neville also said something about Liverpool being the most successful club in England right now. They just equaled Manchester United 20 20 Premiership Cup right now. They are now tied with Manchester United with 20. And of course, talking about Liverpool and Manchester United this season, or this time around, Liverpool are bigger than Manchester United. Take a look at their trophies, the major trophies, not counting the Community Shield and co, but the major trophies won by both teams. Liverpool are still better, better than Manchester United. For me, arguably, the best team, the most successful team in England right now happens to be Liverpool Football Club. And of course, I don't know if any United fans will have any contrary opinion with this one. Of course, they both won 2020, and of course, Liverpool have won Champions League more than Manchester United. Let's take a look at the fixtures. And of course, Manchester City are also fighting for Champions League spots. They will host Wolverhampton Wanderers today. Aston Villa also fighting for top 5. We host Fulham. Everton versus Ipswich Town. Arsenal versus Bournemouth. Brighton versus Newcastle United. Newcastle also fighting for top 5. Brentford versus Manchester United. United have just only one route to play in the Champions League next season. That is, if they can win the Europa League, they have to go through the back door. Brentford versus Manchester United. West Ham we host Tottenham Hotspur. Chelsea we definitely play against Liverpool, the champions of the Premier League 2024-2025 season. We also saw Nottingham Forest lost yesterday to Brentford. So Nottingham Forest might still end up playing the Europa League or Conference League with the way they are going down, but only time will tell. All right, away from the Premier League, let's move straight to Italy, where Inter Milan Serie A title defense is on the line with the busy champions chasing a fresher Napoli side who have the finishing line within sight. And this weekend, both teams take on clubs involved in the fight for survival. You know, there is one thing about being the Premiership, La Liga, Italian Serie A. Whenever the league is going to an end, there are some teams that really want to survive relegation, just want to play in the league next season. This is one of those things that Napoli and, of course, Inter Milan will definitely face this weekend. And don't also forget, Inter Milan also have a crucial match ahead of them at the San Siro when they host one of the best teams in Europe right now, talking about Barcelona. They played 3-3 is playing, and of course Barcelona will be coming to Italy to visit Inter Milan. And of course this weekend Inter Milan will definitely host Verona. Verona is also trying to survive, you know, not to play in the Serie B next season. Lecce is also at home against Napoli, also fighting for survivor. Bologna will host Juventus, and this is a must-win game for Juventus, or at least they get a draw against Bologna. All right, Jerry Apello, welcome back. I was just talking about Italian Serie A, where Inter Milan will be playing against Verona, that is surviving for their own life to stay in the Italian Serie A. And of course, you also know that Napoli is ahead of the log table with 3 points. And they'll be playing away against another relegation trading team, talking about Lecce. So what are your thoughts on this one? Inter Milan at home, Verona, Napoli playing away from home against Lecce.
Yeah, for Inter Milan, I think I'm really surprised that they are struggling this season. But at this time where they decide to struggle, they decide to also keep Barcelona. They run for their money in the Champions League. I think it's a tale of maybe, I don't know, maybe whether it was just a form that was temporarily or deliberately used to deceive Barcelona that Inter Milan is out of sorts. And I must say that Inter Milan still has what it takes to chase Napoli down the wire as far as the title is concerned. But for Verona, it's going to be a tricky tie for a team that's struggling in the league this season. I think on the back of that Barcelona performance, I think Inter will surely give Verona a run for the money, and we'll say maybe they are back. We'll wait and see. The Italian Serie is quite a very tricky one this season. And I didn't expect Napoli under Antonio Conte to be chasing for the title. But I must say that Antonio Conte has proven that he's a good coach. He's a coach that understands the league very well. With an average striker like Romelu Lukaku and still be challenging on top for the title, you must give Antonio Conte his flowers. And it shows that he knows what he's doing. And to say that I've seen McTominay become a new leaf. He's among the goals as far as the Italian Serie is concerned. Lukaku plundering as much as 12 goals and having McTominay already on 8 goals. I think he should something you never want to rule him out as far as the title is concerned. So it's a title race between the both of them, but I see 3 points coming through for Napoli and Inter.
All right, moving away from Inter and Napoli, let's talk about Bologna at home against almighty Juventus. I know you don't like hearing the almighty in front of Juventus, but whether you like it or not, this is a team that has dominated, that once dominated Italian Serie A for a decade. But talking about Juventus, Juventus now sit fourth on the log table. They will be playing away from home against Bologna. Bologna are 5th on the log table. A win, a draw or die affair for Juventus.
Yeah, for Juventus, they're quite underachieved this season. I'm really disappointed where they've gone. And in spite of the sack their coach, I expect that things will turn around. But definitely it's not Uhuru. So for Bologna too, they were excited to record with last season until their coach left and came to Juventus. I think they will surely be angry with Juventus going into today's game, this weekend's game, knowing that he took our coach and eventually sacked him. So let's see how it pans out. This game. I want to consider their chances. They are no pushover. They did well in the Champions League this season, but it was not enough. But of course, they're going to give Juventus a run for the money. I see nothing mighty about that Juventus side. It's just an ordinary side.
Don't talk
who
about
tried to survive season.
All right, Bologna versus
Yes,
Juventus.
so.
Monza will host Atalanta. Roma inform Roma versus Fiorentina. And of course, Parma versus Czech Africa's side, one of the best teams in Italian Serie A this season. Talking about Como. All right, moving away from Italian Serie A, let's move straight to Spanish La Liga, where it's going to be a tricky one for Real Madrid this weekend. Real Madrid, we all know they lost the Copa del Rey to Barcelona last weekend, and of course this week they will be playing against Celta Vigo, and it's going to be a very, very hard one for Real Madrid. This is the only trophy they can lay their hands on this season, of which they trailed Barcelona by 4 points. Do they still have any chance to win La Liga this season?
Yeah, they still stand a chance mathematically, but mentally Madrid is already gone this season. But I would have loved to see, talking about Kylian Mbappe, get the good input in the Spanish La Liga. But he has to chase down Lewandowski, who's out injured at the moment. So there's an opportunity for him to at least end the season on a high and see if they can beat Barcelona. But with the Barcelona I'm seeing right now, Hansi Flick is a man for winning trebles. He has done that with Bayern Munich. And Hansi Flick is a winner. He has this winning mentality. And it looks like he's going for the treble this season. He has done the Copa del Rey. He'll be going for the La Liga. That's what Hansi Flick is. And that is like bad news for Real Madrid as far as the title chase is concerned. So, for Real, fight still finished. The coach that has lost for Madrid. All club side is paying down that Madrid is built. And the formula has already been exposed by Arsenal and Co. And of course, with that formula in the hands of the opponent, Real Madrid is there for taking. So I now see a Barcelona picking it. So no way for Real. So just accept something exceptional happens. Barcelona.
All right, now that Carlo Ancelotti is heading to Brazil national team, who do you see coming to Real Madrid to replace Carlo Ancelotti?
Yeah, I've heard good names. I've heard Jurgen Klopp. I've heard Xabi Alonso, who I think is the best candidate now. Because Bayer Leverkusen has lost the steam due to the fact that they've not been able to sign players to at least make sure they hold on to the league they won last season. But that's not to say that they have no fighting chance as far as the Bundesliga is concerned. So the Xabi Alonso will make a good sense for me, coming to Real Madrid with this pool of talent they have at Real, and the fact that they will be signing players which they actually need to do. Xabi Alonso looks like a good name for me. But if they are able to get to the club, I think that would be a coup. Convincing him to go pathway with the money he's making right now with Red Bull Salzburg as one of the football directors. So, John will be a coup, but Xabi Alonso will be very decent.
All right, talking about Xabi Alonso to Real Madrid, does Xabi Alonso have the the capacity, the power to handle big stars like Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, Jude Bellingham? Don't you think it might be a problem for Xabi Alonso?
For someone who has played with bigger players than this name you have mentioned, I think he shouldn't have any problem managing them as a coach. So he has played at the big level, playing for Liverpool, for Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid. So who is Kylian Mbappe? Who is Jude Bellingham? You take that is trophy cabinet that is a player. So there's no big deal there. So it's just going to be like every other team he has managed, and of course, I think it's the man that will take Real Madrid to the next level.
All right, let's see how it goes. Let's take a look at other fixtures. Valladolid will host Barcelona, Alaves against Atletico Madrid, and Sevilla versus Leganes. All right, that is how much we can take on Sport on Enterprise TV at 7. Endeavor to subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified of all alerts. Follow us across all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. And like, share, and engage in all content. Visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com for all the news you can use, the inclusives, and the live update. Jerry Apeluai has been great on the show this afternoon. Jerry Apeluai, up Liverpool. Almighty Liverpool. All right. My name remains John Olasukomi. See you next time.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.